What's going on YouTube? I am HotMessNess, MUA, otherwise known as Vanessa, the only YouTuber who comes on not fully dressed, in my pajamas, never has her hair done, but wants to have a full face makeup. This is exactly why I will never be a real beauty guru. Can't get it together. Today's video is going to be a recap of brands I want to try in 2018. I filmed this video. It was my very first video for this year. And I listed some brands that I wanted to try. And my original goal, is my eyelash coming up? Yeah, it is. I am not going to reglue that. It's not going to happen. My original goal was when I picked up these brands, I was going to do videos on them, let you guys know how I feel, have this little playlist, like chronicling, showing you guys how my progress was, how I liked them, so we could actually see together what I thought of these brands that I wanted to try. Yeah, that never happened. I filmed one video, maybe two in that playlist. I talked about buying used makeup from some sites because that's where I got some of this. I even started a whole thought process of doing dose of colors, like one a week for a month, and that didn't even happen. Yeah. And I can blame that on me needing to be oversaturated. So I'm going to show you guys what I got from the list, what I like, what I didn't get, and so on. So yeah, let's just jump into it, shall we? So in no particular order, actually this is the order of the original video because I wrote it down. The very first brand that I listed was Nabla Cosmetics. Nabla has been, talked about from Jay Kissa. I was really on it because of her, but then also Angelica Nyquist also mentioned them. So of course they're on my radar. Our Beauty Cult, the blog that I love to read, and the Instagram, Angela Mary Tanner and ColourPop Cult talked about them all the time. And it's this brand that's indie and made in Italy and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't want to jump on the single train, even though that's where everybody was all about, because there was a new palette coming out. And the palette came out and I was like, oh, that's pretty, but it didn't speak to me. And I had mentioned in last year's video that I didn't want to keep buying things unless it spoke to me because I wanted to use what I had. I'm really trying to this year purchase purposefully. Every month when I need an eyebrow pencil, like those things need to be the priority. And if an indie brand that I know and love releases something
and I can make it happen,
then I will. But then you start to realize you have so much shit that you're never gonna use, it's gonna go bad. So while I love reviewing product, I need to be really purposeful in what I pick.
I lied.
I'm such a liar. Because that's where I'm at again. I bought a bunch of stuff. I'm planning on having one of those declutter type videos, like show my whole collection, declutter, or decide to declutter with you guys, talk about it, all of that kind of stuff. But I really want to focus on using the stuff that I do love. And I felt overwhelmed. Like, how can I film videos on the stuff that I do love when I'm bringing more stuff in? And it's just like, haven't even touched singles in a while, and that's like my love. Sidetrack. Anyway, back to Nabla. The palette just didn't speak to me. So they came out with one, and then they had another one which looked so similar to the first one. And I can be okay with the similar thing if I know your brand. And I know, oh, it's a various shade of brown, but I don't have that brown. But if I know your formula and I know I like it, I can almost make excuses for it. But then the Poison Garden one came out and their reviews were like me, and that their palettes aren't as good as their singles. And if I was going to take the jump, I wanted to jump in with the palettes And that's really where my heart is. And you'll see that from all the brands that I've listed today, they're all palettes. It's never like, oh, I'm screaming to try a new liquid lipstick because I have dry lips. So anyway, I never got on the Nabla train, and I don't see myself unless something mind-blowing comes in. I kind of just, I put Nabla back here. Nabla's back here. We might call her again in the future, but the interest has dropped off for me. And I'm glad that I didn't jump on something just because it was on my list for once. There's not really a lot of these that I can say that for. The next one is Melt. Now, I always wanted to try the stacks, but I thought they were expensive, so I never did. Well, I found my very first stack on like Depop or Mercari, and I ended up getting the Lovesick one. And as pretty as some of these shades are, I couldn't really find a way to use them all in one look. I think if I would have looked at these more like single eyeshadows and incorporating them with other things, but they're not single eyeshadows. You don't put them in with your singles. It's big. It'd have to be like, I'm planning a look around this. And so I just never, I just wasn't really in it. These didn't get me like I thought that they would, because I never really played with them. Like I did a little bit of this, and I tried a look one day. I started to do one where I was trying to keep it just to the Lovesick stack, and I was like, meh. So I'm gonna have to come back to this. But what really got me on the Melt train, and I will throw those up in the cards because I have a couple videos, was the palettes. Now I know some people hate these. I personally love both. 27 is like my neutral go-to. Like when someone's like, oh, my neutral go-to is Viseart or whatever. I love these. I love how smooth they are, how soft they are. I know that they break on people, but I love them. I love this formula so much. So much so, I liked how soft Gemini was and how they just feel. I'm a matte girl, guys. That's always gonna be my love. Someone comes out with a matte collection, I'm about that, and then I'll go into the single world. But I loved Gemini so much that I took the jump on 27, even though I'm like, oh, it's just neutral, and I probably have those colors. These two are some of my favorite palettes that I own. I love them, and I want to play with them more. When I'm not doing makeup for YouTube, I'm constantly in these two. But when they had one of their sales, I also picked up the one, what is this one? This is not the Aaliyah one. This is the more peach-like one. But I got this one, and I like it. I can use this stack with 27, and I can use this stack also with some of my Dose of Colors. So I actually like it to like mix and match with things. There's one more stack I still want, and it's the She's in Parties. I don't have that. I didn't realize the sale was going on during Black Friday, so maybe someday when they have a sale again, I'll pick those up. I love these two so much that I almost got the Smoke Sessions. Almost. I didn't get Smoke Sessions because there's only two mattes, and I like Melt for their matte formula. Those shimmers are pretty, but and I like Pretty Lid, don't get me wrong, but I can do so much with mattes, and shimmers I can only do so much for. And I don't personally like a lot of shimmer in my crease. You can do it, I just don't like it. So Melt was a big win for me. Big, huge win. This is what I bought from Melt. I like it. I did buy some of it used, but I love the palettes. I like me a dusty girl. I like me a messy kickback queen on a palette. So these were for me. Next up on the list was Dose of Colors. And I took the Dose of Colors plunge with, again, used. I bought one of these on like Mercari or Depop, and I liked it. I think it was the Sassy Siennas that I bought. And I liked it enough that when Ulta had a sale, like 21 Days of Beauty, and they had these guys, I picked up the rest. They're dark, they're deep. I like this formula. It's another one that just blends itself. There's a little bit of kickback. I have them all now. I have them all. And it's not like Pokemon, I want to catch them all. I like them. I like them because of their color stories. I have not used the 2 new ones yet, but I can't wait to do that. I like these. The other one that I did pick up was the Hidden Treasures one. This was an Ulta sale. I like this. I didn't need this. I didn't need this because it's some browns and their shimmers. Their shimmers are nice. They're pretty. You know, they're okay. But I'm all about the Dose of Colors matte formula. Now, that being said, I didn't feel the need to buy Friendcation. I didn't feel the need to buy I Love Sarahi for myself. I didn't feel the need to get the little quad from Desi and Kitty collection because I like the Dose 5 pans. They're little, they're sleek, you can find them on sale sometimes, and I like the little gradiating color stories, and they can actually match well together. If I was gonna go back in time, I wouldn't have got this. It's not bad, I just, for my own personal collection, I don't need it. So Dose of Colors was one of those brands I'm so glad I tried because Dose of Colors melt. I like those kind of mattes. Next up on my list of things to try was Strobe Cosmetics. They came out with their very first palette, which was this Creepy Cute. It's a pastel palette. I'll throw that up in the cards. Beautiful formula. She waited a long time for mattes. Her matte formula is gorgeous. I did not get the second new palette. And I love this formula. I really do. It's just a matter of at what point do you go, oh, you have enough. I'll probably eventually get the other palette. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm that girl. But I have this and I have one of the shimmers. It's like Unicorn Tears. When this one came out, I was like, I need to get a shimmer so I know what they're like. And they are beautiful. But beautiful quality. If you've ever been wondering about them, there are lots of creators that have reviews on these. So eventually I'd like to get the other palette that came out for the fall. I can't say that I regret this. Do I use it a lot? No, because I haven't been playing in pastels lately. But these are really, really saturated and beautiful colors. So very good company. Glad I finally tried it. Next on my list was Colored Rain. And the very first thing that I got was another from my Makeup Garage sale. I got the Beauty Rest palette. I got it used. I think I paid 15 bucks for it. And it arrived cracked, so I pressed it. These are beautiful, rich, deep, pigmented, amazing colors. Looking back now, do I need this? No, because I have these a million times over. I just showed you the 27 palette. I just showed you Sassy Siennas, but beautiful formula nonetheless. I liked it a lot, but I didn't, another brand that I put the brakes on because their singles are supposed to be quite lovely as well. And I'm like, I already had so many palettes of Makeup Geek and so many palettes of, you know, Luxie and Divina and Sydney Grace. How many single eyeshadows do I need to have when I actually have found formulas I like? Now, I don't want to say that I don't want to try new brands because I do, but I also want to really enjoy the things that I have. So even though I like this, I still stopped myself from buying singles because I was like, girl, how many delicious browns do you need? So this one is really beautiful. Again, I don't regret buying this, but I didn't need it. And I haven't used it in forever long. So now that we're talking about it, I'm gonna have to play with it again. The other thing that I picked up, used, the Queen of Hearts palette. Now that I have this, I absolutely understand why the big YouTubers were going nuts over it, because it was one of the first real, like, warm, cool, neutral with pops of color type palette. It's like the pre-modern Renaissance, or it would have been a modern Renaissance type companion. I don't remember which one came first. But I mean, the showstoppers for me are these ones. The shimmers are beautiful, but again, I'm a matte girl, and I'm sure I now have these in my collection. If I had gotten these 2 years before, it would have been probably in my cult status. When I want to do certain kinds of looks, I will grab for this palette. So very beautiful. Stop myself from getting the Colored Rain New Vivid Pigments because I'm like, again,
how many do you need?
But so good. Good quality, great brand to have. The next one on my list was Natasha Denona. I can't tell you how many times I've had a Natasha Denona in my cart. I can't tell you. Every time Sephora's had a sale, every time one of their little ones came out, and then I'd watch a review and they'd say the little 5-pan palettes aren't as good as their regular. And my problem with Natasha is that you'd have people that say, this palette was good, but this next one wasn't as good. And I know everybody's views are different, but if the same person that loved the green purple palette doesn't like the lila palette or whatever, then they're not being created the same. And for that price point, I want to know the formula is the same. For that kind of price point, I want to know the formula is the same across the board. So that's why I have not jumped on Natasha. The other thing is they are warm browns and colors that I do enjoy. But then there's this thing like, so if that becomes the palette, do I stop using all this other stuff? I hope that makes sense. If I was somebody that loved makeup but wanted a very condensed collection, like I'm not going to be reviewing products, I love to put my makeup on every day, but I don't have a channel or I had a main thing, then something like Natasha might be something I would want in my collection. So I'd have all of them, and that would be my brand. I feel like that price point is so high that that would need to be my brand, my only. And it just doesn't, I'm just not there yet. I still want the blue-green palette. I still want Layla. And now after seeing people talk about, you know, the new gold one, they're all on the list. But they did not make it this year. And I don't know. Maybe next year if I just don't buy anything. Just don't buy anything. But I don't know if that will happen. So Natasha Denona, I guess you're rolling over for next time. And the last one on my list was Viseart. Viseart started with this. This was an accident, actually. I had picked up the little Pro To Go one. I meant to get number 2, but I accidentally added this one to my cart. And I was like, ooh, these are pretty amazing. Just using the little shades, and I actually filmed with it and I never uploaded it. My very first time using Viseart. And immediately after, I had gotten these ones all used from Depop, Mercari, whatever. So I paid, you know, a quarter of the price, and they're great. I have the neutral, I have the dark mattes, the editorial brights, and also the warm mattes, which I think is in my kit. These are amazing, and I understand why makeup artists use them, because when I want to condense my kit, you bring these. I can make someone dead, I can make someone a zombie, I can make someone pretty. And for everyday use, they're not easy at blend. I feel like this is the kind of look that might be like, oh, so easy to do, but then could take forever to blend. And you could blend these out and you can see the differences in color, but it's not like bam, bam. I get it now, guys, I get it. This is the kind of brand that is not like you put it on your eyes once. You know how like a big YouTuber will get on and they'll be like, so incredible, it's so good. I feel like this is more like, oh, this is so good, I want to use it again. And then you're like, oh, this doesn't fail me. I want to use it again. I believe that these kind of shades could very well become the ride or dies, the ones that never fail you, always perform. You know, if you put them on your face, you're going to get a true look. And that is my first opinion, my first experience. And they don't excite me like a regular palette does. But if I'm like doing it in my head, today I'm very general and I know I want to do purple. That's all I know. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab some Sugar Pill, and I'm going to grab some of my singles with, you know, the shimmers and build looks that way. So that's really how I use these. They haven't made a lot of appearances in my YouTube channel, if any, but I do use them, and I understand why people lose their mind over the matte formula. I feel like a lot of these colors were trying to be duped, especially in this one, from the Makeup Geek formula. They're almost exact colors. It was actually cheaper to buy this than to buy the Makeup Geek ones, which I haven't never used. And then I had to. This one also used Makeup Garage Sale. This is the Tryst one. I kind of wanted Golden Hour, but I knew I had those kind of colors. But I love these pinky, mauvey, purpley kind of shades. I don't play with this one enough. I'm not over the moon about the shimmers. The shimmers are nice, like more mature for myself, like really, because I don't like to foil a lot of things. They're pretty, but I mean, if you like super foily shadows, I don't think that these would be your first choice, but the mattes are delicious. I was kind of interested in that new one, like Libertine, that came out, but again, talked myself out of it because I just have so much. So this was it. My 2018, I did all but 2. I didn't realize that people were doing 8 in 2018 and 9 in 2019, something like that. I just picked out 7 brands I wanted to try. So that's it, you guys. Seen my overall roundup. If I was gonna go back, I would definitely not get this. I'm glad I got this, so I know about the shimmers, that they're like, oh, that's what made me not want the Viseart Pro Mega 2, because I was like, meh. I would have skipped on this and the Dose of Colors palette. But everything else I'm like really happy to have. I feel like they are enriching my collection because I like, you know, those formulas. And I've also learned a lot this year about the kind of formulas that I like. Before it was just like brands, and now I'm like, oh no, I like this brand's formula like this, and I can use it as a descriptive. Like if someone is explaining a new product or a new brand, I can be like, oh, is it like Urban Decay or is it like Melt? I like that dusty, I like that kickback. Although these ones are pretty stiff, but they're still delicious. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will definitely be doing brands I want to try in 2019. I don't know if I'm going to do 9, guys, because even if I just did 9 and that's 1 brand a month, that's more than half of the year buying new products, bringing more stuff in. So I'll throw it out there. We'll see. We'll see. We want to use what we have. Unless people start sending a butt ton of PR and this becomes my full-time job, then I wouldn't complain. But right now, it's a lot. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Mwah. Bye. Don't forget, you can subscribe down here, and for more videos, click over here. Possibly there. There's places to click. Click them all!